Okay, so here's the plan, kids. So here's the plan. I don't need these right now. Oh, fun story before we talk about the plan. Yesterday, I decided to cut the miters on these, and one of them was cut like this, and it was perfect. The other one, I cut with the wood up the wrong way. So the gate is now 21 inches high rather than being 27 because I made a stupid mistake. The plan is to get some bigger clamps. Yeah, there's definitely a bend on one of these bits of wood. Is to do about the beam. Is to spec tape up these bits and then put a clamp on either end. Yeah, one of these is bent, which it shouldn't be. Very fucking annoying. I'm gonna have a bent gate. So spec tape these together, get a couple of clamps, clamp them solidly so they don't move, put a clamp on either end, and then figure out how I'm going to dado out these bits. Do I need spec tape? I guess for the middle I do. How I'm going to dado out the middle, out these bits, because it's pretty thin compared to what I did before. So I'm trying to figure out the best way of doing this with with those brackets that you saw me build in a different video. So right now I'm debating on how I'm going to do this. Now, obviously, most people with a decent table saw, hey Harvey, please send me a table saw, or give me a massive discount, would use a dado stack, because that's what dado stacks are for. I don't have a dado stack. Other people would use a crosscut stud. I don't have a crosscut stud. So it kind of limits my options. I do have, so I'm just making sure this is square. I do have a mill, and when I say a mill, I mean a mill for when I'm doing engineering stuff. But I need a clamp or two. I don't really use that though, because if you use all of the bits, you don't want cracking. So I'm very hesitant to use the mill. I could do a pretty fun setup. Get this, get everything where I wanted it. Dink, dink, dink. I'm going to have to clamp various bits of this. This is pretty flush. This is flush. So, this is a thing. I'm considering, for stability, to add a block on the other side of this, so it's a really nice tight fit. Same thing on this one. So that would give me a slightly more stable base to actually mill off of. And then we'd start knocking out the dados, because what I do is I put a block on the other side, and then I could probably just spec tape. Let's get a bit of wood. Let's make a block. Right, so many little offcuts right now. I don't need it. I don't need a massive piece of wood. Right. How do I do these? Now I can pretty spec tape these actually. Carefully. Doesn't even need to be that bloody square, to be honest. Something is catching. So if we get one of those, I haven't actually figured out. Laugh at this. Actually, I'll do this way. I haven't actually figured out how. Actually, just bloody stick it. How I'm going to do the deep. How I'm going to do the deep part of. I should probably clean out this scalpel. How I'm going to do the deep cuts for the deeper dados, because I do not have the means to do so. I also actually feel that somewhere on that bench there's a scalpel, and weirdly I generally like knowing what my scalpels are. Save me. So you can't see what I'm doing. Jiminy Cricket. Shut. I don't like the rock. I got a feeling I'm going to need more clamps. So I've got a feeling we're going to end up doing this off the side clamp. Because this, well, or I spec tape that as well. So let's find a thin one, which is this. Ding. That's nice and square. I need more light. That didn't help. That's better. Except I stuck it. Except I stuck it over the bit I need to cut. Like that to be a little bit more. Okay. Technically we're good. I'm going to clamp this to this and put that away. I live tomorrow. That's got them. Okay. Okay, got that space. I always do that. Okay. Okay. Do a shallow pass. That was too much of it. That was too much of a shallow pass. Straight in the face. Okay. The problem is, this is where I start reaching the limit of this bit. So that is as far as I can go. Now, this gives us a number of problems, kids. So, going that deep on this because it's going to be worn out in these ones, I'm fine. That's not a problem. The problem I have, if this is a worn up cut, these two are actually deeper and I need to go at least nearly 2 inches. So I need a bit that's going to do 2-inch deep dados. And I'm not sure if that bit actually exists. Well, that was shit. And the stopping block is on. I guess we're just going to be clamping. So, crap. I can get these first ones done. And this jig obviously does an amazing job. I'm pretty happy with that. So this obviously works for these ones. So I can get those done tonight. Then after that, in fact, it's going to need a little bit of cleanup. Or I change the plan. I can't go that deep. Well, you guys are all going to point out to me that these bits of wood are too thick. That's a good point. I don't think that even with thinner wood, I can actually... We'll figure this one out. Maybe I can get close to it. Maybe. That's the limit that I'm happy with on that. I'm marking this here. It's close. Very, very close. Okay. I want these to be as square as humanly possible. That's what I don't like. It's that movement, but we can deal with it. Right, let's do another one. Motherfucker. don't actually have to go much deeper than that. Yeah. Shit. But for the sake of consistency, we'll do it all the same place. That was probably a little bit too much headroom actually. Better clean our six. This thing looks like shit. Although technically, there's no technically. I do actually have files for this. It's not giving me the straightest edge. I can only assume it's because of my blocks, but this one's nice and straight. This one's a bit off. So, thinner blocks. Now, expanded PVC. It's a bit flexible because it's got a bit of bend on it. I don't like that. I do have some HDPE. So we need to, right. Let's try a no, that's as deep as that will go. It won't go as deep as I want. Okay. Alright. We'll give this a try. I need to find a friend who's got a dado stack basically. Let's try and keep this upright. Okay. So this setup will get me into the cherry but not into the P.I.T.A. So game plan, I'm guessing, has changed. It'll get me very close to the P.I.T.A. It'll get me like 1/8 of an inch off of the P.I.T.A. And then I could chisel it out. But we've all seen what I'm like with chisels, and I always end up bleeding, so it's not a good idea. So don't know what to do. This is going to take some thinking. Which is fine, which is what we're here for. It's all for learning's sake. Cherry's cheap, so this is walnut. I don't know. I'm going to think about this and come back. So I'll mill it over overnight. Peace. Hope you're all doing well. That's not what I wanted. Wow, it's not working. Right. So, let's talk a little bit about this big box. Big white box. This is this is a WEN model 3410, excuse me. Air filtration system. Now, let me point out a couple of things. I already have a WEN air filtration system, and I'll get you the model number. Because I can't remember off my head what it is. It's a 34710. Let's grab a scalpel. And it's a shit sight bigger than this one. So these are, they have 3 speed settings: 300, 350, 400 cubic feet per minute, with a really good remote control, with a timer on it, and all of that stuff. Now, you're going to ask, why have I bought a second air filtration system? The reason, is because my basement is quite large, and basically, airflow speed is 300, 350, 400 cubic feet per minute. It's got a 1 micron inner and a 5 micron outer, and the sound output is 50 to 60 decibels. Remote control works for 26 feet. This actually basically will cover the rest of the basement. So when I make a massive amount of dust, you've seen me sometimes go, like, fuck it, I'm leaving, because there's a lot of dust in the air. And what I do is I normally turn on the other dust extractor and I walk away, to not, even though I've got a mask on, not breathe dust. That's all the fixations, which I'm not going to use. Now, the good thing about these air filtration systems is the footage that they actually cover. And the reason for this, let me change, I want to change this, is because I wanted more coverage closer to where I'm normally working. Right, that's what I was checking. So this covers up to 400 square feet. My basement is actually more than 400 square feet, as my father pointed out to me. Is that you do realise that you're not covering most of the basement. So where this one is going to sit is where my old CNC was, over there, or maybe above my chop saw. Maybe above my chop saw, if it fits. I'm not sure it's gonna. But the reason for this is when it does get super dusty down here, and it is dusty because of woodwork and old house and everything else, is I can turn this on as well as the other one, and I can nuke the dust that's in the air super quick. The other reason for buying this one is because every time, because I'm an idiot, every time I buy filters for the other one, I buy the filters for this one. And I've got spare filters because I never return them because I'm lazy. So I've got spare filters for like 2 years for this thing. I'm going to drop this down and pull it out quick. So yeah. So I bought another air filtration system. The 3417, this weighs 31 pounds. The 3417, if you really want to get into it, this weighs 31 pounds. The other one, I think, weighs 66 and was an absolute pain in the ass. Line up. It was an absolute pain in the ass to get installed where I wanted it. This one I can simply manhandle because it ain't that heavy, which is another reason for having it. I'm not entirely sure if this model existed when I bought the other one. I think the other one was on sale. So what you can see, can't see. Whoops, I saw that connection out. Boink. Wants to go higher still. Come on. Welcome to the. There you go. Welcome to the least interesting content on the internet. What you can see here is one of the filters. It's got 2 flip-up catches. And on the inside, there's a double bag filter. So you've got the 5 micron and then your 1 micron. And then, breaking it too much, on the back, you've got a fuse. Actually, it's probably with these. On the back, you've got a fuse right here, which I've never had a problem with, and then you've got 1, 2, or 4 hours, and the 3 speeds: high, mid, and low. And this actually got a fuse light on it. Here's the other one. The other one doesn't. My original one doesn't. So basically, this is going to go and sit. It does come with all the hardware, and I'll show you the hardware. This is going to sit over there on my bench. Oh. I'm really thinking, what would be super cool if I cut a hole in the top of my saw thing and I had it pointed, so it's dragging all the crap. But I'd kill the filter in about 5 seconds flat. But this is going to be very close to my chop saw station on the corner of my bench. And when I'm using the chop saw, although I can put the big dust extractor on the side, it doesn't seem to do too much. And then there's the shop vac. This will be on the side, just about 4 foot away. I'll flip that on as well, and we'll get some good airflow, and we'll get some good dust removal. It does come with a remote that requires 2 AA batteries. Honk. I'll have to get some AA's from upstairs. This is the original remote for the other one, and like, you can turn this thing on from anywhere. It's amazing. I put a magnet on the back of it, so it sits on the side of my toolbox. So I know where it is, and I'll do exactly the same thing. I'll glue a magnet on the back of this, and this will sit flat on the side of this. So when I want to turn it on, because of airflow, what I wanted to do was, when my chop saw is pointed this way, I want it to be dragging a different direction. This one over here is pulling this way. This one is going to pull this way, so I'm getting somewhat of a circular airflow in the basement. Right, let's get this installed. Why won't this work? Play. Nice. After a lot of jiggery McFuckery, the top and the bottom of the gate are done. It took a little bit longer than expected, I'll admit. I've got a bit of a blowout there. I don't know, you fucker. It took a little bit longer than expected, and I'll explain why. As I went over badly before, certain parts with the verticals want to go into the P.I.T.A. So it goes P.I.T.A, cherry, walnut, P.I.T.A, cherry, walnut, P.I.T.A. And I obviously didn't have a bit that was long enough to get down into the P.I.T.A. The reason for this was the blocks that I made, and you saw me make these blocks, are just too thick. So I don't like having too much shank out in the router like this. This leads to instability, it leads to a bit of flex, and it leads to a bit of sketchiness. Now, what I did was I grabbed a couple of pieces of P.I.T.A, which I had kicking around, and I made some extra boards, which are thinner, which means I didn't have to extend the router bit out as far as, well, one, I couldn't do it if I used the same walnut blocks. I had to use thinner blocks. So I used a couple of thinner blocks, and this allowed me, and you'll see here, just to get into the P.I.T.A. But it actually didn't. Even with a 1/4 inch piece, it was still getting to the land of don't like it, this is a bit too sketchy. So I had to put the router on top of the frames, stabilize it with my thumb, and run that last pass essentially freehand off of my squared up wood. It worked out pretty well. It didn't go quite as deep as I wanted it to, and the two outside ones on the end here, there is a marking where I wanted to go down into the P.I.T.A, but it was just too unstable to do it, so I've given up. So there's 3 P.I.T.A slots, 4 cherry slots, and 1, 2, and 4 walnut slots. I think this is going to give the look I want without too much problem. I've got a little bit of a blowout on 1 or 2. There's a few bits where it's got a little bit chunked, which I don't like, but that's going to get sanded, so I'm not worried. So it's been a bit slow. This was a P.I.T.A, P.I.T.A, a pain in the ass. It was a very repetitive task, and although I showed you the first couple of ones, I didn't show you all of them, and it took me pretty much on and off a week just to do these bits. Yes, there's faster ways of doing it, I understand that. I've got a bit of a ridge in this one, which I don't like, so I'm gonna... If you don't have a set of these little Japanese files, get some, they're very good. So yeah, it's taken me a week, so now I'm at the point of, if my back wasn't hurting, which it is, I would be rabbiting the corners and laying this out for actual glue up, but that's going to be tomorrow. I'm going to finish this video here. We're going to rabbit tomorrow, so we're going to rabbit top corner, bottom corner, get those squared up, let those glue up, and then we'll rabbit. Right, I'm actually torn. I don't know whether to do the strips, because all the strips are different lengths. That's going to be a pain in the ass, because I didn't pay much attention to how deep this shit was going, so it's a bit all over the place. So every single rung has to be custom. So tomorrow's top corner rabbit, bottom corner rabbit, and then we'll get the whole thing, get it square, get it put together, and then we're into making the rungs. And it's going to be custom rungs pretty much for every single bit, because I like to make my life hard. I should have paid more attention, and I should have measured where the bit was, and I could have just made it easier. But at least I have top and bottom done now. That's the most important thing, and we can continue on with this project. I've also been busy at work, so by the time I'm done in the evening, I'm tired, which is why there's not been very many video updates. But don't worry, tomorrow's a work day. We'll get this done, and we'll get to we get to doing some rabbits, which I've not done on the channel before. I have a rabbiter, so we'll get to marking out, getting the rabbits done for the top and bottom corners, and then we'll go from there. So thank you, like and subscribe because it helps the channel. And yeah, I need a better table saw and I need a crosscut sled because this would have been so much easier, but that's a summer purchase, not right now. So take care, thanks for watching, peace.